Well, hello and welcome back. I know it has been quite a while, but working two jobs. Also have online school I got to do, so it's just been a little bit. But welcome back. So today we are discussing something that's been on my mind for a topic of a video recently, and the topic is obviously, as the title will display, is Gdevelop good for game development? So, what you are seeing in the background is the current build of my first game ready. Later, you will see gameplay of Stake Defense, both on GD.games. Gotta advertise it both on GD.games and Stake Defense. No, not Stake Defense, sorry. Ready. Obviously, what you're seeing right now is also on Jolt as well. REDY question mark is the title if you want to look it up and play it and support me. Really appreciate it. But, so, game has been out, both of them on GD.games at least for about 2 weeks. And I want to discuss, is Gdevelop good for game development? And it's a hard topic. Right, for me, because obviously this is the engine that I am using to create my first games, right? And in a lot of ways, I will say for first time indie game devs who want to get into it and just make a game, right? Who want to try their hand at it and don't want to get involved with all of the actual programming language, right? It's good. It is. It very much is, right? You can obviously see it creates a functional game, and it works as I intended it, right? But there's a lot of limiting factors, right? Because the game doesn't run on actual code. It runs on, not typed out code, right? Just little fragments of okay, it writes it out for you. I want this thing, this object to do this at this time whenever this happens, right? So it's good for people who are not able or do not have the time, like me, for example, to exactly put all of this effort, 6 months to a year into something if they just want to make a game and get it out there for people to try. It is a fantastic engine. It's easy to understand. They have tutorials for you, and in the development thing itself, but also on YouTube, they also make tutorials themselves for people using their engine, which is very helpful, and it helped me out quite a lot. And there's a lot of tutorials online of just people who also use it as well, and it's very good, very easy, very smooth, very little goes wrong in the game engine. And if you're a first time indie game dev and you want to get into it and you want to make a game and get it out there, okay? And if you were to ask me, is Gdevelop good? I would say yes, okay? It very much is for a first time indie game dev and you want to get something out there. It is a very good engine, but it is very limited, I will say. First person is very iffy. I think I would say Gdevelop specifically is a lot more better at 2D, like what you're seeing right now. My game ready is a 2D platformer or a top-down 2D style game. It is very good for making those very easy, very smooth. First person, on the other hand, not so much. That's why a lot of people who use Gdevelop do not make first person games, okay? Or shooter games for, first person shooter games for that matter at all. So if you want to make something like that, Unity, Unreal, they're way better for that, okay? They just are. But if you want to make a platformer game or like my other game, Stake Defense, a top down game, it's very, very good, very easy, very smooth for that. But it's also very limited, right? You can't, whenever it comes to a game like Unity, if you're using C#, you really can do anything you can imagine, right? I genuinely mean that. but it's just with an engine like Gdevelop that isn't really possible, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? There really isn't. But I'm just saying, coming from somebody who has used it, who has 2 games out from it, it's a good engine. It is for first-time users, but if you are experienced, obviously do not use Gdevelop, right? Because I'm sorry, it's just not useful for someone specifically who is who knows C# and stuff like that. Go to other engines like Unity, because they are way better at things like that. But if you are new, like I have said way too much during this video, it is great, and I would really, really suggest it. It's great if you are new, okay? But it's very limited. It just genuinely is, and it's kind of iffy, you know? It's just whatever. Do you want to make a game relatively fast and get it out there for people to play, or do you want to spend a lot of time making your dream game? If your dream game is a 2D game, okay? If it's just a 2D platformer or top-down shooter-esque game, do it in Gdevelop by all means, right? And they're very good at integrating stuff like AdMob and other services like that. But if you want to make your dream game, and your dream game is, for example, a first-person shooter, do not use Gdevelop, and it's just not made for that. And that's perfectly fine, you know? Like, Gdevelop is not specifically for, but it's more advertised and more pushed towards new indie game devs who do not really know what they're doing. And I mean that with all sincerity, because I went into this having no idea what I'm doing, and here I am now, right? So, it's good, but it is very limited. And for anybody wondering at all how exports, Gdevelop makes it very, very easy to export your games to different things like websites, like GameJolt, for example, or Gdevelop has their own website where people can play your game, called gd.games. Like I said in the beginning, that is where both Stake Defense, specifically for keyboard and mouse on PC, is located, and where Ready is also located, and I also exported it to GameJolt, Ready to GameJolt as well. So it makes exports very easy. Same for Android, Apple devices. Obviously, I think it's for Apple devices, it costs money to do so unless you have a Gdevelop subscription. I think it's the one above the basic subscription, I think. So, but even that's also limited because it costs them a lot more money to do that kind of stuff with iOS than it does Android. And obviously, websites majority of them are free to post on regardless. But it also works with Steam, Linux, Windows, and stuff like that. It makes it very easy to export, and if you're having trouble with it, there's also videos on it from the people from Gdevelop themselves, which are very, very useful, which is really nice. Like they are very good at what the purpose of the engine is and how simple it is. It is very, very useful. And for anybody wondering, because I know for some reason this is always a really interesting topic for people in the indie game dev space, specifically. But for anyone wondering how much money my games have been out on gd.games, because publishing them on it, if you turn on ad revenue sharing, you do get paid for it. And same with GameJolt, they also run ads as well, so you'd get paid from them based off of how many plays your game gets. Obviously, the more plays, the more advertisements, the more you would get paid, because they are making more money from your game specifically, so they are giving you money back, as a thank you as well, obviously, right? Same with stuff like YouTube, right? But my games both have been out for 2 weeks. And the question always in the indie game dev space is, how much money have I made? Obviously, games have only been out for 2 weeks, and I will be 100% honest with you, right? Looking at the statistics, they have not had that many plays, which is, it's my first 2 games. Of course, they weren't going to get that many plays, and I didn't really advertise them that much either, right? I know I put out a trailer for Stake Defense, but I didn't for Ready, which I don't know why I didn't do it for Ready, because Ready's more of like the it's my first game, like the one I put more time and effort into. Like a Stake Defense, I think it was, I made it in 10 hours, or roughly around 10 hours, and then I tweaked it and touched it up a little bit after that video as well. But I made that game like really fast, really easily, and Ready took me a month to do. I think it was around 60 hours to make, so obviously put a lot more time and effort in, but I didn't put a trailer out for it. My voice cracked, what the hell, but yeah, they haven't obviously had that many plays. They're my first games, right? They're obviously not going to, but despite that, how much money, drum roll, how much money have they made? I have made a total of 1 cent. That is right, USD 1 penny. And honestly, I would say that sucks, right? But at the same time, the fact that I even made money is crazy, because I'm not even doing it for that, right? I'm doing it for the love and the enjoyment, and to create content for other people to enjoy watching, and for them to be able to see what it's like. And the fact that I even made a penny at all is crazy, but it is really funny and awesome to see. But yeah, like, you know, like I've been saying the whole video, Gdevelop, it's good for beginners. If you're experiencing, you know, stuff like C# or programming languages, just stick with something like Unity. You can make more of your dream game with stuff like that, but Gdevelop is very useful for beginners. They are also very good at being able to help people using their engine, because they themselves put out videos to help people using their engine, which I don't really know if any other game development software does that. So it really is a good engine, but it is very limited. So as always, appreciate you coming out to watch for this little discussion. It's nice, means a lot, and as always, thank you so much for watching.